All right, today is January 7th, 2024, and it was a pretty bad day today. I want to say yesterday I had a good day, but I think I forgot to upload yesterday. I was just way too busy. But that reminds me, I did mention this in a previous video, but I'm sure most of you guys either don't care or just didn't hear. But these next 3 months, I will be very busy, just a whole bunch of work trips to go on. And I'm also trying to move. So work plus moving plus everything going on. My upload schedule will be kind of hectic. I'm going to try to pump out at least one per week. So it's like a summary video. And I mean, most of my videos are like 4 or 5 minutes long anyway. So cramming it all down in like a 10 to 15 minute summary video, I'm sure is not going to be too different. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that for like roughly the next 3 months, just going to be kind of sporadic upload schedule. That doesn't mean I gave up or I'm abandoning the channel or anything like that. Nothing like that at all. And once everything is situated, I'm going to try to have like a different format for the channel. So right now it's pretty basic. I basically just whip out my Robinhood and just start spewing whatever comes to my mind. Like there's no script, there's no setup, there's no like studio setting. I mean, sometimes y'all might even hear like cars honking in the background. I don't have a microphone or anything like that. So I'm going to try to get a little bit more professional, just as like a thank you for bearing with these 3 months with me. But anyways, I did have a little bit of activity here recently. I don't know how much of this I covered, but I did get that New Year's Bitcoin reward. And I think I kind of screwed up a little bit because they said you're not allowed to withdraw it, but I kind of did. So I don't know, maybe they'll hit me with like an $8 fee or whatever, but I'm about to make a deposit, so it should net out like cash inflow for them. So I don't know if they end up charging me, depending on my mood, I guess I'll just contact support and get that situated, whatever. But I did also get a Nike dividend. It's pretty big. I closed out my new bank's cash secured put for around $3, and after fees and all that, it's probably around $4. I also got a Pepsi dividend last night, I want to say, and then I bought a little bit more Nike here today because I think 72 is a great price for Nike. And if any of you guys have been in the stock market for a long time, if any of you guys are long-term investors, you'll know exactly what I'm about to talk about. But whenever you have a long-term position, sometimes there are moments where even other like veteran investors that I listen to, I even like catch them sometimes somewhat slipping into this, but there are moments of doubt where you're like, okay, this is a great company. I love it. I love buying the stock. I think it'll do great. But then depending on how long you have to wait for that story to play out, especially with Nike, sometimes you'll catch like these little moments of doubt. And that's kind of where I was. Even though my price target is still 90, I was looking at the chart like, Nike could go down to 65 and the market could still tank here in the short term, go through a correction. The consumer is taking a hit right now. I think credit card defaults were spiking up here recently. And I'm like, the consumer, it could get worse, right? Because I guess like somewhat of a bull case for Nike is the consumer was hit so hard with inflation, it couldn't possibly get any worse, which is not a good thing, you should say, in the market, by the way, because it can always get worse. And I was just doubting a little bit, like, I do want 500 shares of Nike, but I don't know if I should put even more. Then you'll also have these moments where if, for example, just because we're on Nike, I'll meet people like that I talk to in real life, just going out to a store or whatever, seeing the type of shoes people wear. And I'm like, oh, there's Nike there, Nike there, Nike there. And even though it is very like localized, the data sample size is very small, of course, and it's just subjective. I am aware of that. It's just, it just makes you feel a little bit better, if that makes any sense. If any of you guys are like long-term investors and you've been veterans in the stock market or whatever, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, where you're just doubting a little bit. Maybe it's a stock like Pepsi. You're like, Pepsi, I don't know. Maybe people aren't buying junk food anymore. But then you'll go to a store and like the Pepsi section is completely cleared out. And you're like, I kind of feel better about my Pepsi position. I don't know. But I guess that's kind of what I fell into today. Like I saw a bunch of people wearing Nikes. I'm like, yeah, maybe 5 more shares. It's a small purchase, whatever. But yeah, enough of that. I did end up closing my new bank. And if we take a look at my history in Nubank, I guess I purchased 50 more shares here recently in December. But I also had that cash secured put for 25, and then I closed it at 3. So that's like roughly 22, but after fees, maybe 21 in profit. So, oh, but I guess I forgot to touch on my performance today. So I was down over 4%, 4.4. And this is on a day where the Nasdaq is down 1.7, 0.8. Let's check out for the week. I am kind of curious. So the Nasdaq, okay, a car just wanted to speed by me, but the Nasdaq is basically flat for the week. I think I'm down for the week. Oh no, I'm actually up 1%. Doesn't feel like I'm up, but yeah, I guess I am up for the week. I still have my AMD put. It's doing fairly well right now. I think I'm gonna let that one sit because I do have a habit of closing out my options. The options that I sell, I have a habit of closing them out very early. And with AMD, I have it at such a low strike, and I believe AMD is undervalued here. I think I'm just gonna let that one expire worthless. Or I mean, if somehow AMD actually does go all the way down, I'll decide what to do then. Most likely keep it and roll it out, whatever. But I do expect it to expire worthless, so I'm just gonna let that one ride out. And I think it only has, it has $200 left on the contract, so it is what it is. Let that bad boy ride out. If we check percentage changes, so Robinhood was down 5%, Nike was roughly flat, Palantir down 7.5, Pepsi slightly down, Tesla down 3.68, TLT down 1.15. And that also reminds me, I was very, very tempted, and I was actually on the screen to sell a cash secured put on TLT. But TLT, it's rough. Like, TLT is one of those things where you start thinking, how much more could it possibly go down? And then the next day, it goes down even more. Like, TLT is just one of those things. So I'm a little scared, I'm not gonna lie. But usually when you're scared to sell a cash secured put, that's probably the best time to sell one. But I mean, I already have enough margin that's on my account right now, and I also have that AMD cash secured put, which was a decent amount of collateral I had to put up. So I mean, it is what it is. I guess I'll miss out on like what, $50 to $80 for this month. But yeah, TLT down 1.15, PayPal down 1.7, Honest is down 1.5, SoFi down 2.5.